Perfect. So we started with what? We started with scanning, and scanning we saw about Nmap, network mapper, and then we saw about ZenMap, and we saw about load balance detector and WAPU. So different types of scanning and what you can do with these type of scannings. Yes. And coming to vulnerability analysis. See, vulnerability analysis is one key aspect of finding vulnerabilities. That is finding weakness. So when it comes to vulnerability analysis, say you have WAP, and in pen testing, yesterday a few of you have asked this query, what do you mean by pen testing? And when we actually go for this, or what happens in actual pen testing. So pen testing, the requirement is going to be like this. I told ethical hacking, CH or basic cyber security is going to be like your UG degree, whereas pen testing is going to be like your PG degree. So here you're going to learn about different aspects of a lot of different attacks. That is okay. Whereas when you go for pen testing, when you're a pen tester, you'll have to choose your domain. You'll have to choose your domain in the sense, as we said, we have two types of domains here. One is for programmers. The other one is for non-programmers. So in case if you are a non-programmer and you want to enter into pen testing, you have network pen testing, network pen test, you have server pen test, you have database pen testing, you have different aspects like this. For programmers, in case if you say you have good knowledge of programming, then you can go for website, you can go for web application, you can go for malware analysis, you have different domains like this. So what happens in pen testing is you will perform a lot of test cases. Test cases in the sense you will work with a lot of different kind of tests. Say, for example, if they give you a domain name or IP address, abc.com, from an attacker perspective, it is going to be different. But when you have to pen test this website or this IP address, you will come up with a list of tests, what can be performed. So for pen testing, it can happen in two different ways. Legally speaking, in case if you are a pen tester, if I'm a pen tester, I am Shankar here, I'm working for this company called Prompt Infotech, and Prompt Infotech has got this project from abc.com for pen testing or vulnerability analysis of their website. Now, what we'll do, we'll initially discuss the terms of what we'll have to do and what we shouldn't be doing. Because you're going to pen test, you're going to perform a lot of tests with their permission. So in that case, we'll have to sign agreement between a non-disclosure agreement. You'll have to sign an NDA with abc.com. So Prompt Infotech will be signing an NDA with abc.com. In that, you'll be disclosing a lot of different things because you're going to deal with the security aspect of abc.com. So you shouldn't be sharing any of this information outside. So based on that, you'll be signing that all these information will be kept confidential. Point number one. After signing this agreement, you'll discuss on the tools, what kind of tools you are going to use. Either abc.com will tell you the list of tools and tests which you have to perform, or you can come up with a list of tools and tests what you're going to perform. And what is the time when you're going to perform, because abc.com can be a live website. It can be a live website. So when testing a live website, you cannot test this website during peak hours. So probably when the load is very low, that time is the right time to pen test a live server. So after all this, you'll come up with a list of test cases. Just for an example, this is a sample test case which we can see. So in this is an information gathering module where you're going to gather information about your target. So this is the test name and what you're going to perform. They're going to conduct a search engine discovery for information leakage. Any sensitive information which you have got can be obtained using different tools. And what tools you're going to use? You're going to use Google hacking, Shodan, and different tools like this. And finally, you will come up with the result, whether any data is exposed or not. And the next one with relevant to what we have seen yesterday, it is fingerprinting a server. Fingerprinting web server is like version or banner disclosure where you're going to determine the version and type of the web server which is running. And I suppose you should be knowing what Vaporizer is. That is what we have seen yesterday. And Nikto is a tool. Using that also you can fingerprint a web server. So with this, we'll go for vulnerability analysis. And as I said, vulnerability means weakness. So you're going to identify weakness of your website, so of your target. So for that, we have to understand few concepts like this, where we will speak about CVE, CWE, and CVSS. So when it comes to CVE, CVE goes like this, where we have CVE, we have CWE, and we have CVSS. CWE stands for Common Weakness Enumeration. Common Weakness Enumeration. Now it says which product has, say we'll discuss like this. We'll take products and we'll take bugs. This is product and this is the bug. When it comes to bug, say SQL injection is a bug. SQL injection. We have cross-site scripting, which can be a bug. We have SSRF, which is a bug. So we have list of bug like this. And we have products. Say we have Apache server, which is a product. We have Nginx, which is a product. You have different products like this. Now, CWE. CWE, it doesn't speak about the product. It speaks about the bug. It speaks only about the bug. It says what different bugs can be present. What are the different classification of bugs and what are the different types of bugs which can be present. Whereas CV, which stands for Common Vulnerabilities and Exposure. Common vulnerabilities and exposure. Common vulnerabilities and exposure, it speaks about the actual product and it says Apache server is vulnerable for these two bugs. So CVE, it says which product has which bug. Whereas CWE, it speaks about the bugs overall. And CVSS, it's like Common Vulnerability Scoring System. Common Vulnerability Scoring System. We have the rating from what? 0 to 10, where 0 is the low-level vulnerability and 10 is a critical vulnerability. So whenever you look at a bug, whenever you look at any bug, cross-site scripting, now we have a CVSS score for that. Based on that score, we can decide how strong is the bug or how severe is the bug. So let us go here and let me type Apache. I'll say vulnerabilities. Apache vulnerabilities. Now, when I go for this, look at this. We have CVE details. CVEdetails.com. CVE, which stands for Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures. When you go here, as I've shown earlier, we have different types of bugs which have different scoring. This is called CVSS score. So let me click on CVSS score, descending, so that I'll have the maximum bug, maximum severe bug, and what kind of bug is that, when it was released, and what is the reference number. So for Apache server of this particular version is vulnerable for this particular bug. So these are some terms which you'll have to remember. And when it comes to a website, you can go for this website called exploit-db.com. Exploit-db.com is one website where you can search for exploits. Different types of exploits. Say I'll go to filters. Let me go to filters and I'm going to search for a bug. It can be a DOS attack. It can be a local attack, or it can be a remote attack. It can be anything. Let me choose remote attack. Now I'll go to platform. Platform, I have different products here. I can choose any product. So now let me choose Windows. I'm choosing here Windows. So now what kind of bug I'm searching? I'm searching for a remote attack, which can happen on a Windows platform. And in case if you want to segregate via port numbers, you can choose any port number. Or if you want to choose based on attacks, different types of attacks, you can choose based on different types of attack. Again, for interview preparation, you will have to be aware of all these bugs. They might ask you something like this. What do you mean by buffer overflow? What is buffer overflow? What do you mean by code injection? What is command injection? So when preparing for cybersecurity interview, probably you should be aware of all these attacks. And I'll also tell you what other attacks you can concentrate on. Now, when I'm looking for a remote attack for Windows platform, look at this. All these are remote attacks which can happen on a Windows machine. Remote attacks on a Windows machine. If I'm looking for a local attack on a Windows machine, I might get a local attack which can happen on a Windows machine. If you open this, probably it is going to give you the details of that particular attack. What is the exploit name, how to attack, and different stuffs like that. So either you can download the attack from here, you can compile it, you can execute it, or tomorrow we'll be discussing a tool called MSF, where it has got all the compiled attacks, exploits, which can work with different platforms. So it can be used for testing purpose, or it can be used for attacking purpose. That we'll see in tomorrow's session. Now, apart from this, what you'll have to learn is this. You'll have to learn about OWASP. Again, from interview aspect, OWASP is where most of the queries will come from. OWASP is like, it's a rating. Say, for example, if you consider a normal law and order police station, a police station which is near your area, and in this police station, probably they'll have a report like this. Say, this is for the month of January, February, March, and it goes on for years like this. And you have different types of attack, which can be, say, pickpocket, chain snatching, murder cases. So they'll have a chart like this. And in this chart, they'll fill up, okay, for the month of January, how many pickpocket cases were registered? 23. And for the month of February, how many cases? They'll come up with this. And for this, chain snatching and murder. And finally, they'll come up with a count. Okay, for last year, we have 128 pickpocket cases. We have 200 chain snatching cases, and murder cases were 52. So based on this, they'll try to concentrate on what? They'll say this crime is occurring in our area in a large numbers. So we'll have to take enough measures to bring this number down. This is for normal crimes. This is for physical crimes. Similarly, when it comes to cyber crimes, when an attack happens, the company, obviously, they are going to report the attack. They say using SQL injection, attackers, they have stolen our data. And they might say using broken authentication, attackers have bypassed our server and they have taken out some information. So based on this, there are different organizations who are performing this report, but we also have OWASP. OWASP is one such organization who is going to come up with the top 10 vulnerabilities every year. They're going to come up with the categories of different attacks which has happened. So when it comes to interview point of view, you should first remember, or you should first know these. Let me go here and type. I'll go to Google and type OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities for the year 2021. Yes, 2021, enter. Now, if I go to images, I can see a comparison of what has happened here. Let me go to this site. Let me open up this image. Now, when you look at this, in 2017, injection-based attacks were at the top. And in 2017, broken authentication was at the second. Then came sensitive data exposure. Now, when it comes to 2021, injection-based attacks were less and broken access control were more. Now, when preparing for any interview, you should be knowing what these attacks are. When someone when someone questions you, what do you mean by broken access control? You should be able to answer what is broken access control. You should know what is that attack, what is that attack, the description of the attack, how it happens, and what are the mitigation techniques, how to prevent these attacks from happening. So it is very mandatory for anyone who is willing to enter into cybersecurity domain to remember all these names and to understand these attacks. Right? These are different vulnerabilities, these are different bugs, or these are different exploits with which target devices can be attacked. So now, let us go for this. We'll go for the tools, what we can use. Before using tools, we'll also go for this. We'll go for web-based tools. Web-based tools, and then we'll go for OS-based tools. web-based tools. So in web-based tools, I can go for, I'll show you two websites which are as simple as it is. Let me close all these tabs. We'll go for ImmuniWeb. This is one of the best websites you can have for finding out vulnerabilities. Let us choose our target domain. No, let me go for this. This is a test website. Let me copy this and let me paste it here and click on go. It is going to take some time. Okay, we've got this. Now look at this. In case if you have registered for a free account in this website, you can download a report here. The report looks good enough to give the list of vulnerabilities what can be present. So now it says, okay, this is the server IP and Amazon AWS. By looking at this, we can confirm they are hosted in, means they are somewhere related to cloud services, and the cloud services Amazon AWS. And you have a ranking here, A, B, C, F. A is good, B is okay, C is somewhat okay, F is no, there is some problem with the website. Now scrolling down, it will show you what issues it has identified. Complaints test, PCI-DSS, policy test. Scroll down and it will show you what is the issue with the website. It says test, okay. In case if it is an issue, it will highlight what the issue is. It says HTTPS encryption is missing. There's a misconfiguration, and PCI, no WAF is detected. There is no web application firewall, and security and privacy are missing, or it is misconfigured. X-frame options is not configured. So we have different issues which can happen with your target. So this is going to identify what weakness your target has, and for an attacker, it is going to help him to step up in performing an attack. This can happen. So this is one website where you can give this. Let us also give our website here. Our website was what? EUC something. EUC. Let us check if this website is safe or not. We'll give here. So it is performing a lot of different tests. It is going to take some time to complete this. Let us also move to the next website, which is Security Site Check. This is ImmuniWeb. And this is sitecheck.security.net. So this website again, it is going to help you with this. Let us go on target website we use. Submit. So it's analyzing and it is testing software security, and the test goes on. I hope this, okay. Now, timeout reached. Okay, perfect. Now it says the site is not blacklisted, which means the site is okay. The site is okay, and the IP address, and it was not able to enumerate other details, and it is giving you a basic report. The site is with medium security risk, which means it has got some issue. And scroll down, it says the scan failed. Okay. Website monitoring not detected. Website firewall is not detected. And it suggests you a hardening improvements. Hardening improvements in the sense, what can you do to your target website to improve its security? To improve its security, what you can do? It says, no application firewall is detected. Please install a cloud-based. And for clickjacking is a type of attack which can happen. It says clickjacking, and it has given few other things. Fine. So this is with vulnerabilities. In case you want to find the list of vulnerabilities, you can go for these website-based tools. Let the scan run at the background. Once it completes, you will see what output we have got. Yes. So few website-based tools. We have one more website, which is Petera.com. Petera.com. This website is used for what? This website is used for testing if your target has any malicious files or not. Suppose you take a college website, they'll have a lot of PDF documents, they'll have JPEG images, which you can download. Now, this website, when you scan for malware, it will start the scan, it will check all the files, any kind of documents which is available in the site, and it will say if the document is malware free or not, whether it is infected with the malware or is they're all genuine documents or not. So this is petra.com, again one site to check vulnerabilities regards to files which are uploaded. Yes. So website based tools. Now coming to OS based tools. OS based tools, Derby. Derby is one tool. Derby is called Directory Buster. Directory Buster. Directory Buster, it helps you in identifying vulnerable directories. What do you mean by vulnerable directories? Say, I'll give you a very small example of this. Whenever you are accessing a website, you're trying to access a website from here. And if this is abc.com. Now, what happens is you are able to look at the contents of abc.com here. Why? Because you have a web server at the background. So this is a web server here. Yes. So this is the web server of what? This is the web server of abc.com. Now, inside the web server, you will have different directories. We will have a home directory. This is about us. Based on the website, you will have different directories like this. And this is what? Contact us. And inside this, you will have subdirectories. Perfectly fine. If you have an image here, if you have a video here, the contents will be inside here. You'll have the on.jpg image. You'll have the 2.mp4. And these directories are called what? These directories are called public directories. Why? Because you are nowhere related to abc.com. You are nowhere related to abc.com, but you are able to view the contents which is inside the server in your laptop, in your device. So these directories are called public directories. Likewise, they'll also have what? They'll also have private directories or sensitive directories inside the server. Say, for example, they can have a directory called backup. They can have a directory called admin. They can have a directory called trash. They can have a directory called password. Now, if you ask me, anyone from outside, yes, they are free to access all the public directories here. That is perfectly fine. But can they access the password directory of abc.com? But that is also inside this web server. So the configuration of the web server will be like this. Yes, you are allowed to access the public directories, but you are not allowed to access all these private or sensitive directories. Why? Because they have got some sensitive information. Only authenticated users of abc.com can access these directories. Now, what happens is, in case if there is a misconfiguration of the server, all these private directories here can be exposed online, and anyone from anywhere can look into the contents of all these directories. That is possible. This is called sensitive directory exposure. The bug name is sensitive directory exposure. Sensitive directory exposure. Sometimes you can also refer to as directory traversal attack. Directory traversal attack. You have different names like this. Sensitive data exposure or sensitive directory exposure or directory traversal attack. Names like this. Now, we have different methods to check if your target is vulnerable for these two types of attack. One method is a simple Google search will be more than enough to see if your target has any sensitive directory or not. Just by using Google, we can see. We'll first see this, and then I'll tell you what is the disadvantage of using Google. Then we'll move on to the tools, OS-based tools, which can help you in automating this process. So Google, as we all know, Google is a search engine which we use on a... I've closed that. Okay. Let it check. Let us go for Google. So here you will have to understand this. There is one keyword which you will have to understand. Whenever you are accessing the home directory of abc.com, In the background, what happens is the request goes like this. You wanted to access the index of the home directory of abc.com. So index means pointing out. From here, you're pointing out where? You're pointing to the home directory of this website. So that is called index. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this keyword here. I'm going to say index of. You can choose any directory. I'll say admin. I'll say index of admin. Now what I'm asking Google, Google search the entire internet. Search the entire internet and find me directories. Find me any website. Search the entire internet. Now I'm looking for what? I'm looking for any admin directory. That's a private directory of any website, of any web server, which has a misconfiguration. And in case if it has a directory called admin, and if it is exposed, give the result here. So I'm searching index of admin. Normally, when you open any website, the website should open like this. Welcome to grade of knowledge, something like this. Yes. But when I search index of admin, enter. Now see what happens. We have got what? Most of the college websites and government websites will be weak. Let me go here. If you open this, you got what? You got the admin directory of this particular website. So this is one keyword. This is not hacking, but this is just using Google to find vulnerable websites. And what we should be doing is, in case if you find something like this, you can directly mail to the college or to mail to the concerned website saying that your directories are exposed via Google. So please find suitable mitigation techniques to avoid this data exposure. That is called responsible disclosure program, where you are able to see some sort of sensitive information, but you're not exploiting that. So as responsible citizens, what we are doing, we are reporting this to the concerned website itself. That can be a known website of yours. That can be an unknown website of yours. So this is a bug submission, a responsible disclosure, which you are doing to that particular website. And nobody is going to come and threaten you. Why did you report it like this? So you can very obviously mail it from your website, from your email address. You can say, just by using Google, we were able to get sensitive information of your website. Please take necessary measures to countermeasures to stop this attack from happening. As simple as it is. So this is bug bounty. Now, you can go on like this. In case if you're looking out for different keywords, I can type index of trash. I can type index of backup. I can type index of password. I can give any sort of keywords like this. I'm going to get the list of passwords, list of this, that. I'm going to get each and everything. Yes. So Google is able to crawl this information. In case if you're looking out for any directory which can be vulnerable for your target website, I can give something like this. Index of, the name can be any directory, but search if there is any directories which are exposed for only my target website. In case if your target website has any directories to be exposed, it will show you, or else it will not. So Google is one method through which you can find vulnerable directories. Now, what is the problem with Google? The problem with Google is this. Say what keywords we have used. We have used index of. We have used index of. We have used this keyword called admin. We have used keywords called backup. You can use trash. You can use password. You can use keywords like this. Now, the problem with these keywords are called Google Docs, which are extremely useful for using Google Docs. Index of is a Google Doc. Site, file type. These are all different Google Docs which are present. Now, the problem with this is a website or a web server. Yes, in case if they have a directory called admin, Google will be able to see this. Now, what is the problem here? How many keywords like this can be present for a web server like this? You can have around 4,000 plus keywords with different names, which can be kept for any directory inside the server. Now, if there are only 10 or 20 keywords, you can use Google to search index of admin backup. But there are 4,000 plus keywords. Do you think practically, is it possible for you to type each and every keyword in Google? Index of this, index of that. Is it practically possible? No, it is practically not possible. it is going to be time consuming and you might come up with an error, a typo, something like that. So what we do is we go for tools like Derby. So Derby is one excellent tool which is going to automate the process. So Derby, it is going to ask you two things. One, it will ask you, what is your target URL? What is your target URL? And then it is going to ask you, give me the word list which I have to use. So what we are going to do is, we'll collect the list of all word lists like this. We'll paste it in a notepad. We'll save it as word list.txt and we'll give a target URL here and we'll tell Derby, this is our word list which has got how many keywords? It has got more than, say, for example, 4,000 plus keywords. From where you can collect all these keywords, you can collect it from here. We'll go here and type directory listing payloads. Directory listing payloads. If you look at this in GitHub, you've got directory listing payloads and okay. We'll go for any tool. Okay, not this. Directory listing payloads. I got that keyword. You can go for sec list. Probably that will be good. Okay. See here, based on your information gathering, in case if they are using WordPress, I'll click on WordPress and I'll go for WordPress first. I'll copy all these keywords. I'll go to raw. Now, if you look at this, these are the list of keywords which can be used for a website which uses WordPress. So I'll copy all this. I'll copy all this. How many keywords I have? I have around, okay, 1,566 keywords I have. I'll copy all these keywords. I'll paste it inside a notepad and I'll give this as an input to Derby. So Derby is a very simple tool which you can use. Just 1 second. Let me go for. I've shared you the attendance form. Please enter your attendance. So Derby, I'll go to my Kali machine here. Kali. I'll open up a terminal here. So for this, I'll say Derby, and I'll type http:// I'll go for this test website, testphp.vulnerable.web.com and enter. Now, you can either give your own word list, which is okay, or Derby has its own inbuilt word list. When you don't have your own word list, you can say Derby use your own word list. So Derby is going to use its own word list, which it has, and enter. Now, what does it say? It says words generated. How many words it has generated? 4,612 keywords which it has generated. And the word list files are located where? It is located here. So let us go and check there. User, you go to share and in share. Word list. And in word list, we have Derby. And in Derby, you have this word list which is called as common.txt. So what Derby is going to do, Derby is going to use whatever keywords it has. It has got a list of keywords like this, 4,600 keywords it has. In case you want to add more to this, you can copy paste it here so that the number of word lists gets increased. Now, if you look at Derby, Derby is trying one by one. Look at all these word lists. It is checking whether this particular directory is present or not. Let me go here and explain what happens in the background. This is your Kali machine where you have Derby and you have your target server which you have given, that is abc.com. Now Derby, what does it have? It has a list of keywords here. Keywords, say, assuming it is admin, it is backup, trash list of keywords like the 4,000 keywords it has got. So now what Derby will do is you have given the URL here like this, http://abc.com. Now what Derby will do, Derby will take the first keyword here, will take admin and it will send it to the server. In case if there is a folder called admin, which exists inside the server will respond back to us with the 200 status code. It will say, yes, success. This particular directory exists. Now, it will not stop there. It will automate the process till 4,000 keywords. It will use the next keyword. It will say, okay, what is the next keyword here? It says backup. And it will send it to the server. In case if backup doesn't exist, server will say, no, we don't have any directories like this. 400 response, 404, a response like this. So now what Derby is going to show us? Derby is going to show us all the directories which can be present. So within matter of time, it is testing us. It is giving a lot of different directories here. See here, when you do it manually, this is going to be tough. But the tool is automating and you're getting, and what is the directory which is present here? It says admin. It says admin directory is present. Let us copy this. Copy and we'll check if admin directory exists or not. Let us go here and paste admin. And if you look at this, yes, this website has got admin directory. Now, instead of searching in Google, giving all the keywords, you can just enter the URL, give it to a tool. You will have multiple websites like this. So the tool is going to automate the process and it is going to check if any directory is getting exposed or not. As simple as it is. Yes. So this is one tool where in case you want to go for an advanced tool with different options, you can go for directory search. So directory search is also a directory buster tool, which can help you in finding directories. We'll have to install this. Okay, next directory, what we have found, CGA bin is exposed. And then it will go on like this. We'll stop this. Now we'll go to Firefox. Let me type directory search. Directory search, GitHub, and what do you get here? You can go to this site, which is from GitHub. And as I told you yesterday, what is the command which you'll use for installing this? We'll go for this command, which is called git space clone. Git space clone, and it is going to clone this directory here. And look at this installation process. Do we have any installation process here? We don't have anything like that. So the usage goes like this. You can simple usage. You can either give, you can mention it like this, or you can go for additional options like this. Now what we'll do is we'll go here and we'll type cd directory search and ls. So directory search.py, search /directory search.py, and you can use keywords like this where -u is for the URL. You can type, you can give -u and you can give target.com, any directory. You're giving the domain name here, and -e. -e stands for extension. -e is for extension. Say in case if you have found out that during technology profiling, your target is using PHP, your target has ASP.NET. If you have found out any sort of extension like this, you can give the extension name like this. So that directory search is going to search only for that particular extension, and you're going to get quicker result. Yes. If you're not sure what kind of extension they are using, just give an asterisk. That will be more than enough. And then -t. -t is threads. Threads is to increase the scan speed. You want the scan speed to increase, you can increase this number, and that is -t. Here we have given it as 80. You can change it to 100, 200, whatever you want. -x. -x is to exclude certain status codes. Say, which status code do we need? We need only 200 response code. Do we need this status code of a directory which doesn't exist? No, we don't need. So what I'm saying, implying to Derby is this, directory search is, I don't want these status codes. Please don't show it to me. And in case if you have a custom word list, you can give -w and you can give the location of your word list. Now it is directory search is going to use this particular word list and it is going to search your target. So directory search, again, another useful tool for finding out exposed directories. Then comes for vulnerabilities, actual vulnerabilities, you can go for rapid scan. Now, what do you mean by rapid scan? Of all the different tools, whatever you have searched in internet, rapid scan, it's a tool which has combined a lot of different tools. Say, for example, this is rapid scan. Say tools like Derby. Say, for example, we have different tools for vulnerability analysis. Now, what rapid scan does is, it is going to combine all these tools and you can just download and install this one tool and run this. It is going to run. It is going to use all these tools in the background and finally it is going to give you results. Results which is going to be categorized in many different ways. It will say how many tests it has performed and of all these tests, how many critical vulnerabilities were found, how many high-level vulnerabilities, medium-level vulnerabilities, and low-level vulnerabilities. It is going to give you numbers, individual numbers of how many different vulnerabilities it has found. So, a rapid scan, again, we'll go for this. We'll type rapid scan, GitHub. Go for this site. Git clone rapid scan. Okay, till download, I've already downloaded this. After downloading, go to the directory here and we have rapidscan.py. Now what you can do is you can just run rapidscan.py and you can come up with that any specific domain name of your choice. You can give your domain name and it is going to start the scan and is going to give you results. Let me give http://test php.vulnerableweb.com. Enter. So it is checking which tools are available, which is not available. And then what it does, it is going to perform a scan. Now it has started the scan. It has started and it is going to perform 80 vulnerability checks. 80 different vulnerability analysis tests on this particular target. And it is going to give you a list of vulnerabilities. So it is using Nikto. Nikto is another tool which is used for checking out vulnerabilities. That is why we didn't see this tool individually. Why? Because rapid scan has this inbuilt. So it is checking. So this is test number 1. This is test number 2. And likewise, it is going to perform 80 tests. And yes, it is going to take some time. Let us skip all this. Let's close this. I already have a scan which is running in the background. I think I've closed that. No, here. Till now, it has run these many scans. And look at the result. What we have here. Okay, so it has started and it is giving us this information. Okay, what is this? No DNS HTTP based load balancers are found. It says there is no load balancer which is found. Yesterday, we have used a specific tool called LBD to check this, but it automatically detects that. And vulnerability, what is the remedy for that? They have to go with a load balancer. And then it has come up with Nmap and it is checking for MS SQL server. It has not got anything. Scroll down. If it has any issues, it will highlight like this. Subdomains, it has enumerated different subdomains which can be sensitive. Scroll down. Here, Nikto, with this, it has found what? There is a medium level vulnerability which says some vulnerable headers are exposed. Some vulnerable headers are exposed and attackers can use that to perform different things. And the low level vulnerability, it says some ports are open. Some ports are open We are not sure which ports. If we perform an nmap scan, we'll be able to find out which ports are open. Scroll down and XSS protection is not present, which means the site can be vulnerable for cross-site scripting. Scroll down. Fine. So it is going to take some time, but it will give you what can happen, what different vulnerabilities can be present with your target. So if you do it from an attacker perspective, attacker is trying to find out different vulnerabilities. If you do it from a security analyst point of view, you are doing this on your own domain to check if your domain is vulnerable for different vulnerabilities like this. And based on the report, what you get, the report you're going to get, you have something like this where rapid scan output. It is going to give you something like this, where it says scan in progress. Okay, it has done a lot of different scans. Number of vulnerability checks 80, number of checks skipped 1, number of vulnerabilities detected 14 vulnerabilities it has detected. The final report is going to be like this, and it will also show you what vulnerabilities are there. Right? So this is one excellent tool for detecting vulnerabilities and with your target. So with this, an attacker, what he can do is he can go for exploitation. And when it comes to exploitation, we have different types of exploits. So exploitation is the actual attack phase. Whatever information you have got till now, information gathering, scanning, vulnerability assessment, using this, now an attacker is going to perform what? He is going to perform the actual attack using the information, whatever you have got. Now, before starting exploitation, I'd like to give you about this, mention you about URLs. You'll have to be careful about URLs here. Let me close this. Why? Because most of the exploitation happens via URL. It happens via URL. You should be very careful when you receive a URL. Even if it looks like this, https://flipkart.com. Even if the URL looks like this, probably it is going to be a fake URL. You'll have to completely look into the details of the URL. Not because the URL just starts with Flipkart. You cannot assume that it is a URL from Flipkart. Now, what can happen when you click a URL like this? In case if you're clicking that in your mobile, we have different open source tools like for this. I don't want to go deep into the names, but this can happen. When you click on a URL like this, your mobile cam can be turned on, front cam can be turned on. It can take pictures of you and it can send it to the attacker every 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds, it will take a picture of you and it can send it to the attacker using your internet. And the configuration needed and the time taken for this tool to run to generate this URL is just 15 seconds. Worst part. Open source tool. I'm not going to give you the tool name, but it's an open source tool. We have many tools like this, and it is going to take very less time to configure and to attack this. Let me show you a small demo of what can happen. YouTube. Okay. If you look at this, skip. Yes. See, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to send a URL to this person. This URL is plain. You can edit it to any text, whatever you want. And now what happens is he clicks that. And in my laptop, we both are in different networks. In my laptop, it says target opened the link. And when it has opened the link, when he has opened the link, it is turning on his camera. It is taking a picture of him and it is sending to my laptop. I've got 4 images and it keeps coming. Till I close this window, I can receive images like this. Now, why am I telling this? Exploitation starts with URLs. Now, we should be very careful where we are taking our mobiles. There are a few places where you shouldn't carry your mobile, but again, it keeps on sending. Yes, again with a phishing based attack. Let me show you something else where the URL looks, here it was ngrok, but in this, it won't be ngrok, it is going to be a different URL here. Okay. So again, this is an open source tool which I've used here. It's a very simple tool. And look at this. These are the different options which are present. It is asking me what kind of login page you want. Do you want Flipkart? Do you want Facebook? I'm not coding here. I'm just giving number 1, number 2, just like dialing a customer care. And see what happens. Look at this URL. It says https://flipkart.com and then followed by something else. But we fail to see the exact entire URL here. And when you fail to see this, see what happens. I'm sending it to this person with a fancy message. And he's sending me a hi, and I'm drafting a message which says there is an offer for Flipkart product. And we have 60% offer for that. And when I send this message to him, what he does, he clicks that. And when he clicks that, see what happens. He opens a Flipkart page. It opens a Flipkart page, but this is not an actual Flipkart page. This is a cloned Flipkart page, but it looks real. Now, what happens? He enters his username and password. Usually what happens with phishing based attack is when you enter the username and password in a wrong website, in a cloned website, it says the page cannot be displayed. It will throw up an error. But this, what happens is it will take the username password, uses it to log into the actual Flipkart page so that it logs into the actual Flipkart page. He doesn't get suspicious. It logs into the actual Flipkart page. So he's giving his username and password. So it logs into the actual Flipkart page. But for us, what we have got the username and password in my laptop. Find a kind of phishing based attack which can happen. So we should be very careful about URLs. Exploitation, it starts with what? It starts with URLs. And you can use virustotal.com to generate what? To check if the URLs are malicious or not. Yes, we can go on with different examples like this. So we'll look into exploitation tomorrow. Now, what you're going to do is your assignment 4 is choose your target. This target should be the same as that of this target. Yesterday, you should have chosen some target. Choose your target again. Generate a vulnerability report for your target. You don't have to make it complicated. Just you can type in Notepad and you can copy and paste that in the Google Forms link what they're going to give you. Just say it is vulnerable to this attack. It is vulnerable to cross-site scripting. It is vulnerable to directory exposure. It is vulnerable to a lot of different attacks. And you can paste it in the Google Forms what they're going to share you. Yes. So tomorrow we'll start with exploitation and we'll meet tomorrow then. Thank you.